Hi everyone, my name is Keiralea and I'm a third-year Politics and Governance student at Ryerson University and an events coordinator for the Ryerson Liberal Arts Society. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some different tips and tricks for commuting downtown to Ryerson once we get back to campus. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the best ways to commute to campus, the steps you should take in order to plan ahead for your commute, how to make the most of your commute, and also some services that Ryerson offers to make your commute a little bit easier. If you're traveling from outside of the city downtown to Ryerson, there are a few different ways that you can get to campus. The first way is the GO train, which connects to most cities directly outside of the Toronto area, extending into Durham region and into Peel region. As well, there's also the TTC, where you can take either line 1 or connect with line 2 down to Ryerson and exit at Dundas Station. You can also take GO buses, which like the other GO trains will connect to Union Station downtown. If you're looking to travel from inside of the city, I would recommend either using TTC buses or biking, as there's also lots of biking accommodations on campus. When commuting into the city, most of our students will end their journey at Union Station, where they'll have a few options on how to actually get to the Ryerson campus. So the first option will be to walk outside. I typically exit at Front Street and then walk down Yonge until you can get to Yonge and Dundas, where you can either decide to turn left to go towards Ted Rogers or continue straight into the main part of campus. You can also choose to use Toronto's underground pathway system, known as the PATH. There are many starts to it, but the most accessible one would be inside of Union Station. You'll go down to the subway level and you'll see signs posted above for the PATH. The best way to operate the PATH is to know what your next destination is, because it doesn't actually show Ryerson University as a location, or to continue this way to head to Ryerson. So what I always recommend is to use a map like this and map out what your next destination is so that you always know what to look for on the signs. As long as you know the next place that you have to walk through, then it makes using the PATH very simple. The last way to get to campus is to use TTC. So when you're in Union Station, you can go down to the subway level and then take the subway northbound towards Dundas. Once exiting at Dundas, it's just a few minutes walk over to the main part of campus. There are pros and cons to each one of those methods. So for walking outside, it can be a great way to get some exercise before class, get some fresh air. When using the PATH system, it's great because you're sheltered from the elements and it's also cost effective. Using the subway is extremely time effective, but you do also have to consider the cost associated. Personally, my favorite method is taking the subway. I prefer to budget the extra cost for the subway because I know I can get to class quickly and I don't have to worry about any type of weather events. Moving on into planning ahead for your commute, there are quite a few ways that you can make your life a lot easier if you were to just plan a little bit ahead. So the first thing actually starts before school even starts. Some students will get a little bit of flexibility when it comes to enrollment of classes. This is something really important to consider, as when you're choosing the times and dates of your classes, there might be better options when you're commuting downtown that you wouldn't have considered otherwise. So it's important to establish whether it's important to you to be downtown for not very long, or if you're planning on being downtown all day. My preference is to kind of get all my classes down to 3 days. I choose this because it's the most cost effective. My commute costs around $22 a day, and in order to make it the most feasible so that I can still take the subway and I don't walk from Union, when I'm downtown, I don't have the luxury of going home in between classes, and I have to make sure that I'm prepared for the day. What I mean by that is it really will add up if you don't pack a lunch or at least some snacks during the day. Now to my next point is what to bring. So things that I find absolutely essential are: 1, a pair of headphones. Nothing is more brutal than being stuck on a bus or a train without headphones. Secondly is a charger, not only for your phone, but for your laptop or iPad or whatever devices you're gonna need during the day. Also during the winter months, it can be pretty brutal if you're waiting for a delayed train or bus, or if you're walking from campus and you forget hats or mitts. It does get quite cold, so I would always recommend throwing in an extra pair of hats and mitts. When it comes to bags, Being fashionable is awesome, but it's also really important to make sure it's functional, and you really want to make sure you have a decently supportive bag. I like to alternate between a tote bag if I'm going down for a lighter day, or I have a mat and nap backpack that holds up pretty well with the vegan leather, because you want to make sure it's also okay with the elements. If you're stuck in a snowstorm, you don't want all your books or your laptop to get wet. Another way that I plan ahead is that I always make sure to take one train or bus earlier than the train or bus that would get me to class on time. So if I know that the latest train I can take is the 10:30 train, I make sure to get on one train before that for quite a few reasons. The first way is delays can be pretty bad and pretty frequent, and it's really out of your control, but you can really manage that stress if you're downtown at least one train or bus ahead. 2, sometimes you sleep in, sometimes you miss the train, sometimes there's traffic on the way, you get stuck behind some slow people trying to walk there. It's just a lot less stress if you're like, it's okay if I miss the one that I'm trying to make, I can just get on the next one. But it's also really important to have a backup way home. I can't even tell you the amount of times that I've been downtown and I've looked up at the screens in Union Station and every single train has been canceled for the evening or for at least 4 to 6 hours. So it's really important that if you have a friend downtown, even a parent downtown, someone that you can connect with to try and help you get home, or if you just know an alternative way besides your regular means of transport. Another way to plan ahead is to make sure that you know how you're going to be paying for your commuting. I recommend Presto. It works with Go and TTC, and you also get the best deal. When you're using your Presto, you can use it in conjunction with the Presto app where you can load on money from your phone. You can also load on money from any of the stations, but if you're running to make a train or a bus, then that can be pretty tedious to have to stop and fill something up. So when it comes to making your commute the most effective, there are quite a few ways you can go about this. So it really depends what you're in need of. I am a big fan of using my commute to nap. I'm not someone who's driving to campus, so I can use that time to really turn off, especially if I've had a very busy day. One thing I would definitely recommend if you are planning on taking a nap is to set a timer for the length of your commute, or 5 minutes less, so you don't have to worry about missing your stop. I also would recommend downloading some Netflix. Make sure that you're downloading things to your phone if you don't want to be using all of your data, or if you're going to be on the subway where there's no service. I turn off my data just to make sure that I don't accidentally use it and drain everything. You can also join Facebook commuter groups. There are quite a few RYERSON oriented ones for all the different Go lines and TTC lines to help connect you with other people who might be on the same commute. It would be great to find a buddy, then you can chat and just catch up on your way home and de-stress a little bit. If you're still feeling productive, you might want to get a head start on any readings you might have. There's really no shame in pulling out your laptop, putting on your headphones and getting to work, but it's important to realize that you don't have to be 100% productive to have an effective commute. I think that either turning off, getting stuff done, whatever works for you will help you be a more productive student, then that's the best thing. So RYERSON has a few different services that are really awesome for commuters. So the first thing is the RYERSON Walk Safe program. If you're on campus, you can contact security where they can walk you to any other point on campus or slightly off of campus. With that, they can walk you to the subway station. I always walk around campus with a buddy, even late at night, but if you don't have a buddy, then this service is really awesome. Another service which I personally think is underrepresented is the RYERSON Commuter Hostel. So inside of the International Living Center, also known as ILC, they offer a RYERSON Commuter Hostel, and basically you can book it online through the official RYERSON website, and you have to do it at least 48 hours in advance, so it's not the best for last minute arrangements, but it is still really awesome. You can book several days in a month, but you can't book more than 3 consecutive days. With that, the pricing is very effective. It depends on whether you're doing a single room or a double room. You're looking at anywhere in between $20 to $40 a night. It is a really cost-effective option. If you know you're gonna have a late night on campus or you have an early exam the next day, just make sure to book pretty far in advance, especially around exam season, because it does fill up really quickly. Well, I hope this video was a little little bit helpful. Although we are going to be starting this year on campus, we will eventually get back there. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to anyone on RLAS, and I wish you best luck this year. Bye.